There she is. Thank you, lady. So we do want to update the bet. So we're going to do hand, and let's see what we have. So bet. Okay, so we only can get the bet. So we do need to do what you had. So that's why we need the method. Good call. And I actually like that idea of the double bet, because then I can only double it. I can't modify it to whatever I want. I can't set the bet to some random arbitrary value. So a double bet forces the logic saying, this is the only way you can change the bet. You can't change the bet by adding 10 to it or reducing your bet. By calling this method, we will change the bet, but we're going to apply the logic to it saying we're only going to double it. So that's actually a really good way of approaching it. So we'll do public void double bet. Bet times equal 2. You can also do plus equal bet, whatever way you want to do it. Some people argue that the plus equal bet would be probably programmatically nicer because its addition is computationally simpler than multiplication. But with this kind of multiplication, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But you definitely have some people that might argue it. So hand dot double bet, hand dot double bet. There it is. We're definitely going to do active hand dot. Oh no, we can do hit. Sorry, hit active hand. And we'll do hand dot active hand. The only downside, of course, here is that I'm technically running these and I have the term hit instead being printed. So on one hand, this can't be bad because I can show that I can now print here first, S out, bet doubled. I then show that I hit, so I got a card, and I'm also showing here that I stand it. So my player knows exactly what happened, that they doubled their bet, they got a card, and then their turn is over. So for the moment, I'm actually going to keep those displays, even though it's a little weird. It's not normal, and something we might change later on. For the moment, this is fine. There we go. And then the split, we just said we're going to double down. So let's see if these work. At the end of the turn, by the way, I am going to do a printout of the hand-in value. So let's do an S out, though, so we know what the end result was. My hand, and I did like the way you had it, plus line. What the hell did I just do? That's a cool little shortcut. So I'm in the middle of the line. Shift enter puts me to the new line without carrying anything over. I can move to the next line. Like if I'm at the end here and I hit enter, I move to the new line. If I hit enter normally, I bring everything with me. That I didn't want. Apparently, if you hit shift enter, it'll do a carriage return, but not bring anything with you. Well, that's an interesting little shortcut.
Nice.
All right. I hit that. I'm like, what did I just do? My cursor moved, but nothing else did. How did I do that? Okay, cool. That's new. Nice. I didn't want to do that, so it's fine. Plus active hand, not display value. Oops. Wait, get value, sorry. Right. Awesome. And then we'll let that be the system for the moment. Oh, I need to update the final bit, which I forgot to ask you if you did. Did you actually reassign your cases? So none of these are being called, are they? So we do need to make sure. I don't know if everyone caught this. We do need to update these. So on our case 0, we're still going to print line quitting. That we don't have yet. We don't have the quit method yet. We do have the hit method. So we'll do hit active hand over here. We're going to go ahead and switch this to stand. Hit active hand. Which again, we notice we don't really need it, but we're going to keep it there for the moment. We're going to do the double down active hand. And here, the split active hand. Now we can play. Right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I should be able to wait. Oh no, it's a soft down. So that's I'm going to stand on that. That's 20. So we'll stand first, test that. And I did win. Nice. The dealer hit. And so the dealer, we can see here, that actually worked. So the dealer did the hit and they actually did get a new card and they got an 18. So we do see that the dealer is using the exact same function here. So the dealer is using the exact same turn function. Remember that here, the method, the same exact turn method that the player is using. So both the player and the actor are using this method right here. But because the player has, because the dealer has its own get action method that is automated, it's able to do performance action through the automation, through the rules that the dealer has to follow. While the player, of course, has this nice output here. We still see what the dealer does. We can, of course, add additional logic if we wanted to, or add additional outputs into the get action method of the dealer. But this seems to be working so far for basic use. So far, so good. But this is one of those benefits of that interface that we have. Because of the interface, both the actor and both the player and the dealer can use the exact same turn method, but they're going to get that action differently, even though the action is going to do the same thing. We know that the dealer will never pick one of these two. They'll pick these two and they'll never pick the 0. Even though those options are available to the dealer, because of the dealer's get action logic, they will never return a 0, 3, or 4. They're only ever going to return a 1 or 2 based on their logic. And that's where that mentality I want to make sure you see. It's like, yes, the dealer can do those actions, but their logic doesn't allow them to do those options. And that's what's really cool, and what you can also do with your AI systems that you come up with. So if you do the counting, the card counter, or the logic follower. So as we know with what Keith was showing with that nice little logic table, like seeing what the dealer shows versus what you show, and making those decisions based on that thing. Again, that person has access to all these actions, but their action is going to be picked based on that logic chart. So they're going to go through the logic chart and pick the action that they want to do based on that logic chart. And that's what's really cool.
I have a question. I have a question really quick.
Go for it.
Wait, maybe yours is doing it, maybe mine's not. So once you hit, don't you get the option to hit again?
We haven't added that yet. Yes.
Oh,
but yeah.
all right.
Yep. That hasn't been added yet. We don't have any, there's no looping structures yet, is there?
No.
Nope, not yet. So
I have a quick question about push.
go for it.
So we're comparing to determine a tie or a push. We're comparing the value of the hands, but I ran into, oh, I don't have it up anymore. I ran into an issue where I had a 10 and 2 7s in my hand, and the dealer had I think it was a jack and a 7, but it said the dealer won.
Because you busted.
Oh, I busted.
Wait, we don't have that.
No, we don't have that. We don't have that feature in.
You had a 10, 7, 7?
No, I had a 5. I had 2 5s and a 7, and they had a jack and a 7.
Those are both
Oh,
17.
cheater's hand.
5 and a 7 is 17.
Yep,
King
let's
and a
test it.
7 is 17.
And I just did it with two. I did it with 2 10s and 7s, and that resulted in a push. So
Let's find out. I'm pretty sure we did the get value, not the get, the get value, which is just an value of the hands. So they
Right.
should be 17, 17. It should be 2 ints. So you said 2 5s. So we're going to do a 5 and a 1, and 5 and 2. Now the dealer had what again?
oh well, the issue is you just gave the player and the dealer each a 5.
I
As
did.
it alternates.
Dang it.
Right,
You're right. You're right.
I've done that a lot lately.
Okay, so 5 and 1 for the player. The dealer had what for the first
It had a jack and a 7.
It's an 11, 1. And then the player again had another 5, 2, and they had a 7.
Yes.
So that looks right? So the dealer
Yeah.
the dealer has the 5, 5, but it's whatever. Right, we went dealer first.
So
The player has the jack 7. So the player is not going to do anything. They're going to stand. And the dealer is going to hit because of what they have. I'm going to give them a
they
7.
okay.
That way it's the same thing.
Okay, you got to
Mine can
push.
push, yeah.
I didn't get that, but okay.
Use the rig deck and see if you can do that again. Can you replicate it right
Yeah,
now? Because I'm going to look at your screen if you can do it now.
I've been working with it. Let me try it real quick. You can keep going, but I'll try that.
Test it right now. If it happens again, we'll definitely switch over to you quick.
Okay.
So let's actually test mine again with the normal deck, actually. Dang it. Yeah, good. Back to the normal deck. So here we are again. I got another 20. God damn. So we're just going to hit just to test the hit system. So you hit. I got a 27. Currently, we're still winning because we don't have a bus system. So I win by having 27 versus 20. The dealer did hit again on 13. So we see that the hitting is working. Let's play again. I'm going to go ahead and double this time. And it shows bet doubled, hit, and stand. So we see those actions being performed, the doubling of the bet, the hitting of a card, and a stand. So we see all that gone or happening. Put there, stand, and we see our new hand. There it is. Or is that our hand? No, yes, that's our hand. And then the dealer goes ahead.
Do we have like
and-
player hand display there for it's easier to read?
I have it at the end of the turn. So at the end of the turn, I display the player's end result, so you can see the result of their hand as they end their turn. So whether they stand or hit or double, we're going to show that final hand one more time before the dealer goes, so that we have their hand right before the dealer takes their turn. Later on, we can always do the table, and then the next person will take their turn. So now we need to figure out the turn. So where should the looping stress? We want to make sure we loop this stuff now. So where should we have the looping system? Where should that go?
That's good.
Should it be in its own
good.
separate class?
Could be there.
We think
And
it's
that
gonna
way,
Does it? But let's at least rule this one out or in. Should it go in the turn method? Let's double check this one first. Should we put the looping here in the turn method?
Yes,
that's what I think.
I think, yeah.
because you want to loop through until the turn ends.
True, but at the same time, could you argue that this is a singular turn, so singular actions? Could you argue that?
Cliff,
where
I
we
would
could-
argue that it would be best to put all of the time, or I guess the tick system, into one class, because that way you can control the flow of the methods and rearrange things rather than going back between methods or classes. Trying to figure out where exactly your times are happening.
Right. I'm not sure what you mean though. Hold on. Try again. I'm,
So, I
I'm
mean-
not following the logic yet. Sorry.
So, I mean that it's best to have your times or your timing and your turn system in one class. That way you can see the control flow of it.
It is in one class.
Of
Yeah.
where, yeah. So that, say if you were to have it, you were to place your loop in the turns, and then you were to put another loop somewhere else for, like, say not the dealer, but just another action within the game.
Mhm.
You have to go back and forth between the two.
Mhm. I can see the argument. The other thing, so again, right now we're just playing around with the argument. So yeah, we could put in the turn. Now the question is though, is those multiple actions that you're taking all part of a single turn, or is each choice of an action a turn? And at the same time, so then because we think of that, there's the two rules, because we need to figure out what is a turn. Is it a turn until they stop playing, or is it a turn to pick an action and then
It's a turn.
the action can decide whether or not they can have another turn or are they done? And we move on to the next person. So that's what we get to figure out
It's a
here.
turn until they stand.
Right, or bust.
Yeah,
Is it their turn until they stop? So you're saying yes.
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying yes or no yet. Don't relax. This is the discussion. This is a conversation. So just so you know, again, I'm really sad that I misplaced my little ninja. I really wish I knew where he went.
I guess you wouldn't have to loop, because if it's not the end of the turn, you can just recall the turn method, right?
Could do that, yeah. That's why I'm saying there's an option for us to do that. We can always just recall the turn method if their turn isn't over yet. So we
Yeah.
could do that. And so that's an option we have. So it could go in the play around section right here around this. We just rerun this until their turn is over. At the same time,
I
yes, we
would,
could run it inside a turn until they hit an action that stops them. So those are kind of our two positions. We could also, yeah, make another method that runs call this action instead of turn, or choice or something like that, and run another method. Then are we over methodizing? So
Well,
those are things you got to think about as well.
I would say outside the turn method, because you're having a looping structure,
Mhm.
and I would have to, if I had to find out, I would have to go and dig through this whole entire, well, not, I'm exaggerating slightly, but I would have to go through and look for where the looping structure actually exists. And I would have to find, looking through and finding its in turn. If I actually have it with a bunch of methods, with the looping structure outside of it, I can always change that looping structure, and I could always, that it'd be more flexible or dynamic.
Yeah, true. I guess the next question though is looking at this. Let's say we do put the looping method in here. How can we exit the looping method? So how do we exit it? What would be the logic here to exit it? If I did put the logic, let's say here, starts.
Has to-
And so we're going to be repeating this segment of code here multiple times. So how can I exit? So on
can always
case
break.
0, can I break though? What am I in?
Well, I mean, you're in a switch, but I'm saying at the, after you make a decision, you could, well,
Once you hit stand,
yeah, once you hit stand,
But stand's not the only thing that causes the turn to end, does it?
yeah, no,
What else ends a turn?
double down
Double down does, but we can always have the double down call the stand. What else
Stand.
causes you
and
to end your
quit.
turn?
bust.
True. There it is. Hitting can end the turn, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, hitting can definitely end your turn. So that's something we also have to be aware of too. How can I, if I bust, how can I make sure that I still end the turn?
The other thing I would also point out is if you had the looping structure outside, you could always alter the looping structure and you don't have to go into turn to change it. You could actually go into.
You just said that.
Simple thing.
What?
Chip, didn't you just say that?
No, I'm saying if you had outside the turn, you could actually change the looping structure. You could have it, do only one round or whatever
Yeah.
rounds or however the looping structure is going, you could change it outside turn
Mhm.
because you would have everything in the playing method.
Yeah. There's a bunch of ways we can do that, by the way. So there's no real ending way of doing this. One of the ways I thought of was that turn isn't the loop, but turn returns true or false, whether or not this turn ended their roll. So my turn became a Boolean value. And so if any of the actions caused the turn to end, I would just return true, saying, yep, turn's over. If I return false, that means their turn's not over. So turn true, their turn's done. True turn returns false, run again, until I return that true statement saying that they've ended their turn. Now, quit, we don't actually have to do that because quit, we can just do the exit right now because it's a single player. So quit doesn't have to end the turn. Quit, you could just exit the game, period. So right now, we're just going to still keep this as a stand for the moment. So we're going to treat quitting like stand until we add in more players. So let's just do that for the moment. So that was kind of the items I did. Again, I'm open to looking at this loop structure inside a turn. So again, if I was to hit and fail, let's say I hit and I bust, how can I make sure I exit the loop? I can't
We
use
could just
break.
use stand.
Check the value of the hand.
All right, where am I detecting the value?
After you hit,
In the hit method or somewhere else? Where like, if am I in a method? Am I in turn hit? Where am I evaluating the value?
Nothing.
You can always evaluate the hit method every time it takes a hit to see what the value is in order to know if it's good or not. I mean, if you
Mhm.
busted or not.
That's true.
So again, the where, if I do that, I can do that
I mean, you
inside
can do
a
it right
hit.
here.
Say in
Yeah,
the
You can do it in
inside
hit.
here, inside this
Right, but
method.
then, so let's say I say, let's do that for a quick second. If active hand dot get value is greater than 21, get me out of this loop up here in turn.
I would have that as a condition of the loop itself.
Could do that.
Hit could return a Boolean.
Yeah, if we could have a Boolean in in each of the individual hands has busted, and the loop could check to see the
Again,
condition
we
of the
shouldn't
Boolean.
have to.
it
We
shouldn't-
shouldn't have
it
to
could
add a
just be
field
his
for
turn
that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh,
that's
no.
another thing that now we are managing, even though we shouldn't have to manage a separate
Okay.
field. This is something we should just be able to run a single condition or a single check on it, and then be able to do our actions there. We shouldn't need. This is that idea of overloading with too many fields that now we have to manage and maintain. To
Gotcha.
make sure we reset that item on every time they start a turn then at the same time. So that's just extra processing for us. When really it should just be a conditional that we check at a certain time,
Sure.
then end the turn. That makes sense?
Sure.
Yeah, we want to avoid fields. The fields are attributes of a item that needs to be maintained for it's part of it forever and shouldn't have to be managed and when I can just look at it. So yeah.
Should
It's-
we
it's-
have
yeah.
a field that contains the value of 21 so it's not just a magical number floating around in there?
Definitely gonna do that. That we're probably gonna do later, but for now we're gonna keep it there for the moment.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, we can always do bust value. So
Sure.
once we're ready for that. So just saying, right, on line 80, there's no way for me to exit the loop and turn because I'm in another method, right?
Mhm.
Exactly. So I don't know if the condition should happen in hit. Now, yes, what I could do is, of course, if I bust, I can hit stand, but that's not going to be very descriptive to the player, right?
Right.
They hit, they get a card, and all of a sudden it also says stand. And they should, we probably want to say they busted, right? We most likely want to tell the player we busted. So I don't recommend it here. At least I don't recommend it. If someone has an idea, please let me know, but I don't recommend it there. Any other ideas of where it could go?
Can you put it in the switch case?
I mean, here?
Yes.
We can try that. So if,
Well, before you even hit, you could just check. Wait, no. never
No,
mind.
it would be
That don't
after,
work.
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say that's not good. Yeah, 21. All right, what's my code here to make sure I bust? So I can of course say bust, so S out, bust. Now how am I exiting the loop?
This one you could break out.
Can I though?
Well, if it's a loop,
But we're also inside of a switch statement, don't forget that.
And we're in
Can
a,
you use return instead of break?
yeah.
Could use return, and that's true. We could use return to get out of the function.
Yeah.
So that would work. That would get us out. Now, the only downside here is that double down will never tell us that we busted. Because if we bust on a double down, we're not going to get totally busted. We're
Right.
just going to instantly stand. So while this does work in one situation and will get us where we're working, it's not the best solution, I would say, right?
Well, actually just move the if statement all the way down to the bottom of the, like, down on line like 70. After
Hmm.
everything is all done, once you can
Oh.
evaluate it after the fact.
yeah.
You're saying outside of a switch statement,
Yes.
Yeah.
That way it'll cover all the
Ah.
cases.
regardless of how they busted. If they bust, we instantly kill it.
Right.
Okay, that could work good. And I do like the use of return instead of break. Good on that, yeah. So that would work. That would definitely give us what we wanted. It's gonna yell at us right now, we don't need it.
Right.
But because we're at the end of the thing, but now we can of course put the while true statement here. So we have no conditional, so we just say while true, do the same thing. And then we can also just do the same return statements in other ones. So on stand, instead of calling a method, because stand doesn't do anything, does it?
Now,
No, so in this case, I'm just gonna do this instead. Well, actually, I'm still gonna keep them, I'm probably gonna keep the method just so I can say stand. Then I'm also just gonna add return. Right? Don't do that anymore. So we stand, we get the return. Same thing here. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this and do return again. Well, no, because I do want to see if I busted. So yeah, we're just gonna let that go. Ooh, but no, that's not good. I do want to return on the double down though, even if they didn't bust. So now I have to figure out how do I get it to print the bust and still return. They don't have an idea.
I think without using a loop in turn, because that's what I was saying originally. Like instead of having a loop in turn,
Hmm.
you could just have the action itself either go back to turn
Right.
or
Look at this was my version of it. So let me show you my version. Let's see if this helps. So yeah, my version was to turn this to a Boolean. Not with a B, big B, small b, Boolean turn.
I think you got rid of too many things because now your switch statement's yelling at you.
Yeah, it's gonna yell at me for a second. Hold on. Duplicate branch. What? Oh, because of this, right? No. Hold on. That's what I did there. Okay. Oh. I know. We have two things doing stand. It's fine. It's okay. So we got that. So in this case, now I'm going to change it to Boolean. Here, right now, we're just going to do Boolean. Let's say, just because we have to put something in here. Actually, no, because I can do it in here. So we're going to actually have several blocks now. Oops, already had that. So this say the turn ended. So true is a ending turn. Small t, right?
yeah,
Okay, I was like, am I losing my mind?
right. Yeah, it is spelled shape.
Yeah, okay. I was expecting the purple, not the orange, so I was a little confused at first.
I was slightly confused by that as well.
Yeah, I was expecting the purple. I'm like, wait, what? All right. forgot it. Reserved keyword. True is technically a reserved keyword because it's just built into the system. Right.
But you got a little squiggly mark on the 76.
76. Yeah, because
Line
we
76.
were able to hit the end of our item without returning because of these
Oh,
all of these
okay.
cases, they don't do return something.
all right.
So what I can do here is if I hit the end, I can say that the return here is a true. So we're gonna false, sorry. I'm gonna say that if we return false here, meaning we get to go again. We've done an action that lets us go again. So either hit and split should return false. Unless we get the, unless we of course bust. So here we can also add a simple ternary expression right here, or a return. The actually no, yeah. Can I do that here? Do I do that here? Yeah. Yes. 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 And then yeah, I can add here the check for bust. So and gotta have action, yeah. Value greater than 21. Oh, busted. Return true instead. If I don't do that, I return false. Anything else that if I don't get here, I'm assuming that I already ended my turn anyway. So we got that. Yeah. Only downside, of course, doing this, if I do that here, is that I still have the same problem with double down. So one thing I could do is actually put this outside of turn, actually. I could do that here when I put the loop here. So right now we're saying the loop is here. While turn, no, actually not, I guess we should say while turn and switch that. True means they get to go again. False means they're done. That makes sense? Yeah, before we do it that way, then I can just do that while turn. So while turn is active, in other words, so while they're in their turn, okay, so we're gonna switch this quick. So this is false, their turn is over. False, turn is over. True, turn is continuing. The turn continues. What's good here though is I can actually now take this out, put this inside the while loop, to player here. And then I can just say break. And then this is a way to break the turn for any other reasons. So the double down will still happen. It'll exit the turn. The double down, we will say, we'll return false though. So that actually won't run this, will this? How did I do this again? Why am I having a brain fart?
Just run and watch the magic happen.
Yeah. I know it's not going to work because yeah, I'm not getting what I want. I want the double down to double, trigger it and turn, but still be able to tell us that we busted. I want to see that we busted if I do the double down, but I still want to actually send back that I did or didn't bust. And I'm trying to minimize the amount of logic. So another way I could do it, of course, would do this. So print the busted, return false. If case 3. Oops, I'm going to say action equal 3. False. See what I'm doing there? So I still get the potential to print the bust for both hit and double down, but if it's a double down, I do want to make sure I return the false. See how that happens? So that's one way to do it. Another thing I can do is to also do it inside of hit and have these also potentially return Booleans as well. So one final change. You guys can let me know which method you like. So here we do the condition here. Next, there. Here we hit, we don't care what hit returns because we're gonna go ahead and do, we're just gonna do the normal thing. So how this works now is that we're gonna say on our hit, return hit. Now the hit returns a Boolean. Why is it yelling at me?
That just returns by default. That's
Oh, right. Thank you. So that should return the value anyway. Right. Yeah. Should. We'll be able to test that, definitely. So that should return on the function. So it's going to run this and not go down below.
But you could do like return and then you put the switch instead of the true down there. Like you could return whatever returned from the switch.
But I'm not going to have everything return a Boolean. That was not the original plan, but I could. Right, yeah, I could do that. That way, these guys, the stands will call it, but then they'll also, and yeah, this one, interchangeable. Let's see how that looks. The double down is going to return not what the result of hit is. The return, the double down is always going to return false. No matter what happens in a double down, we're always ending the turn. So we're always going to do that. And return false. Stand is just going to end. We want to print out that stand command. We do want to print this. That's the key item here. Double down, we're going to print. Then also return false to end the turn. The hit will let us know, did we bust? But in the return false or true, we don't care. Whether hit returns true or false, we're gonna end the turn anyway. That's the key here. We're ignoring what hit tells us to do with our turn on the double down. We don't care if the hit on the double down says, oh, you're good, you can go again. The double down says no. Double down stops it. Split's gonna do the same thing. With this, then yes, we can do the return switch here. Here, we're just going to go ahead and just return false stemming. We can, of course, create the default. We could create another method here that'll return true so we can get the system out if we want to use this version of the switch. For here, we're just going to do just to make sure this works. So return switch action, stands automatically going to return false. Hit will return true if they're under 21, false if they go over 21, and add a card. Stands going to automatically return false, like we said. Double down will go ahead and double the bet. It will run hit, so we can print the bust if it happens, and it's going to return false no matter what. Doesn't care what hit says. And then split is going to currently do the double down. Why do I need to, what's that yelling at me for? Do I need a semicolon there? Semicolon there, do I? I already did the return statement, so that can go away. I guess I didn't do a semicolon. When did I lose the semicolon? Weird. Anyway, so now we have that. And so again, we can keep here the wild turn. Just that's it. We don't actually need any sort of logic. We can just put the empty bracket here. What's it telling me? Yeah, and I know I did an empty body. I don't care. And do they have a recommendation on how to do this better? Or is this just alerting me? All right, whatever, don't care. So wild turn, player. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we can get multiple turns in the player now. And see if we bust. So, well, that's a great way to start trying it out. I got a 21. So let's stand and make sure the simplest system works. I did not get another question, so that looked fine. We'll try a couple times to see if we get something that we can work with, which we didn't. Damn it, let's do a hit quick. So right now this is going to do the same behavior we had before.
Does
So
a dealer split?
dealer does not split, no. The dealer hit once. Wait, That's not right. He also didn't actually hit. What happened there? Oh, I also forgot to print the players' results after their turn when they're done. So at the end of the turn, so here, oh, I didn't do the loop on the dealer, right? So bleh. That's out.
Nothing but dealer.
Yeah, just displaying the table at the end. You can see
Aren't
both
you supposed to
players.
put dealer dot display hand?
No, doing display table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Here we go. We got an 11. I can hit. Cool. I can hit at least once and see if I get another option. Nice 21. But look, I still have the option to hit. Double went away. So now the loop on the player does seem to be working. We'll stand. Player wins. Dealer currently is still only hitting once. So let's go ahead and try the same thing here. Let's do while turn dealer. Well, it's the dealer's turn. And we can always change this to while is turn player. We could always change that. Okay, we see 19. I'm going to go ahead and stand. Let's see, the dealer hit and then the dealer stood. So you can see that the dealer did take 2 actions here. So hit and then stand. Let's try a double down. Make sure that still works. And we're going to do both where we double down and we don't bust and double down and bust. So right now we're going to be able to double down and not bust because I can't get anything high enough to bust me. So double. We see I go ahead and I bet double and I hit 3, 4, 8. Dealer hits and then stands. Dealer wins, of course. That was not a great hand for me. Let's try again. Let's hope for a high card. Not quite, but we could bust. So let's find out. Hit. I did not. I got a nice ace, which does not help me though. So dealer wins again. The dealer though hit twice. Look at that.
Yeah.
So we see that that worked. So nice there. We don't have to use the rig deck for that. Let's give it one more shot. There we go. 18. Unless I get another ace again, or what is it? 2, 3, or ace. I should bust. So here we go. I'm trying to bust. Let's see how easy. Let's see how hard it is for me to purposely bust myself. Double. What happened? What? I got a 10. Oh, I had an ace, didn't I? I did. Dang it. I didn't think of that. I still didn't bust yet.
Pushed.
I pushed. I know. Hey, we got a split. That's not gonna work. Nope. One more time, and then we're gonna go to the rig deck. 3 double. I am not able to bust. I have
Yeah,
never
well,
seen that
someone
before.
busted.
Well, dealer busted at least.
You did.
Oh.
But I also got a 21. I
Dealer
doubled
wins.
myself to a 21.
If the
I-
dealer busts, you're
No.
gonna bust.
You still won because
Yeah,
you're not
dealer
checking if they
busted.
busted.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
oh,
the dealer does
okay.
win right now. Yeah, he busted, but we're not checking that to determine winner yet. Very
Right.
true. Good point there. Yep. Good point. Technically, if the player busts, the dealer doesn't even go. Remember that. So, but in this case, that didn't happen. So the dealer would have gone, they would have busted, and I would have won anyway. So, yep, but that doesn't matter right now.
Multiplayer though, the dealer would still go, right?
Only if there's at least one player still active. Yes. So if all the players bust, the dealer doesn't have to go. So that's the one thing to keep in mind. Because a bust, you instantly lose your bet. That doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter anymore. So yeah, the dealer will go though as long as one player is active. Now our code would probably will just make the dealer go anyway. In the long run, just to save ourselves trying to code that system to check, hey, is any player still active? But that's something you can definitely code in later on that if you want to, the dealer doesn't have to go if every player busts. Yeah, and so in our game, we're still gonna let them go because yeah, if the player dealer busts, the player still loses their money, so it doesn't really matter. So we can still let the dealer go. And now we don't have to code that system. And
Interesting though, if you have like multiple players and you busted, you can have all the cards removed out of their hand, and then you can just search for empty.
active hands, yeah, we can just remove the hand from the table
Yeah.
around and say, yeah, if there's no hands left, then just the dealer doesn't go.
Mm.
That is actually a really good solution there. Yeah. So after a player busts, remove the hand, which deletes the bet. So then we don't have to pay the bet out. We remove them from we remove that hand from the table. So we just pick the hand out. It's actually a really nice solution there. Nice idea on that one. It's a great solution to that item. Nice. Maybe we will implement that. That actually sounds cool. Let's see. So we got that wild turn dealer, wild turn player. So now we got this. So let's see. Now I'm still not gonna. God damn it. This is not going to cause me to bust. All right, time for the rig deck. I cannot bust myself. And it's a weird thing because every time I play blackjack, I bust all the time, I swear. But when I'm trying to, I can't do it.
Give yourself 21, you'll be easy.
I want to give us at least a somewhat chance. Be a normal situation, but yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, so 19. Please bust this time. No ace this time. So here comes the ace. Yep. Oh no, I get to tell myself what I give. Hey, let's give me a 5 and a 1. There we go. So you see on the system, we did a double, we hit, and we busted on a double. So we do still get that alert. Of course, as you said before, our bust does not determine a lose, instant loss. So we still are determined to be the winner. So we do need to update that. So now that's our next item. Probably right. It looks like everything else is working fine, right? The turn seems to be working. The dealer seems to be working right. Now we just need to make sure that we determine the winner correctly. Do we need to review though exactly how this item is working? Make sure it makes sense. So just to confirm it makes sense, we're taking advantage of how this fancy switch statement works. So the fancy switch statement returned whatever is on each case. So it does a return on these. So whatever the final value is, it's going to return that into this line. Now, normally you just drop it. A lot of times you just drop whatever it gives back. And a lot of times you'll get back undefined or nothing. It'll do like a normal everyday return on a return void, right? So it's a similar concept, which we were doing originally. What we were doing originally is what we were returning was a return nothing, a return null. Now we're actually saying return what we get. In this case, we want every single case to give us some sort of Boolean. And so every action returns a Boolean. That Boolean represents whether or not this action ends the turn. In this case, the Boolean on a hit. And a hit, as long as we don't bust on a hit, our turn is not over. So we're going to say, yep, true, it's still our turn, as long as we don't bust. But as soon as we bust, we're going to say, nope, my turn's ended. It's not my turn anymore. Continue on. In the stand, that's an instant, nope, end of turn. So return false. And we're only using the method so we can get this printout. On a double down, we want to double our bet. We're going to go ahead and actually say we doubled the bet. We are going to run the hit method. We don't care what the result of the hit is. We don't care if the hit tells us whether or not we continue our turn. The double down says you end your turn, period. Whether or not you busted or not doesn't matter. So we're going to do the normal hit behavior, but we're not going to care if you busted, but we do want to print that you busted. So that's what we get here. The system does return false and true. Just again, even though it's returned here, we just drop it on the floor. It's like, so hit kind of throws the false or true back at us and we're just not paying attention. So it just goes over our shoulder and hits the wall or hits the ground. Doesn't care. Kind of the way of looking at it. We don't care what hit returns to us. Double down just returns false. Currently our split does the same thing. At the moment, again, we can't do split, by the way. For anyone wondering like, well, aren't we going to do split logic next? We can't do split until we can handle multiple hands, right? We can't handle multiple hands yet, can we? No, so the split is useless at this moment until we bring in that configuration. So before we do that though, let's go ahead and figure out determine winner. So determine winner. I'm gonna go back here. Let's update this code again. So first thing we want to check, by the way, is what?
They busted?
Right, only the first thing we need to check is if the player busted. If the player busted, it doesn't matter what happened to the dealer, right? Player busted, the dealer automatically wins, or in this case, the player loses, you could also say. But yeah, so just do if player dot get value is over 21. Out. Player busted. Just put that down. We won't say they lose. We want to be positive. We just say, hey, you busted. Sorry for that. So now on line 55, we know that the player didn't bust. And so in this case, we can say the player.getValue and the dealer .getValue is if the player's value is greater than the dealer value. Is that the best thing to start with, or should we do something else first? Should we check for something else first? We want to make sure this is, so I want to clarify one thing, by the way. We do need to check for one other thing. There's two ways that the player wins. Remember that. But I don't want two conditions for this, or two if statements for it. So what are the two ways a player wins?
Either it's a higher
Dealer
dealer or the
busts.
dealer busts.
I think Mike and Jim said it at the exact same time. Yes, either the player has the higher value or the dealer busted. The dealer busted, then the player instantly wins as long as they didn't bust. And we know as of this line, the player hasn't busted. We know on line 55, because of line 51, with my if return, that we did not bust. And so instead of creating another conditional where we check for the dealer bust, we can just do or dealer get value is over 21. So if either the player has a better value or the dealer busted. So in this case, what it does check though is say, hey, in the case of 19 and 23, this would come back as false, saying that no, the dealer has a better value, but we would still get the true here because the dealer's higher value is over 21. So the player would win. If one at 18, 19, this is false and this is false, the player does not win. So that's how this is a single way of handling both scenarios for the player win. Clean, right? And this is that concept of being able to use that nice logic systems and deductive reasoning to come up with nice, clean, and non-repetitive code. We can do both of those conditions in one conditional. Then we only want to check if the dealer busted if the dealer has a higher value. If the dealer's value is less than the player and they didn't bust, then there's no way they would have busted. What's cool about Java, if this comes back true, it doesn't even evaluate the second one. It won't waste processing on it. Doesn't matter. Because a true false and a true true is both true in an OR situation. So that's what's really useful about this one. Last but not least, if we're equal, we push, and if not, the dealer wins. So that looks like it should update the system, right? Last but not least, let's go ahead and do that thing that I think, was it Matt who mentioned it?
Yes.
Yeah. Set up here quick and just do int plus value. So if we want to make a really interesting game of blackjack that raises the bust value or lowers it, we can. Not that we probably would, but it's something we can do. So back down and hit. That's the other spot. There we go. Cleaning up that code. At the same time, I also want to do it here because I noticed, I don't know, I'm surprised no one here mentioned that we're using the magic numbers here when we don't need to. If I remember correctly, we have actor dot quit. Are we, yeah, quit. We have actor dot hit. Actor dot, what was that, stand? Stand. Double. Actor dot, oh, that was split. Dang it, split. We had those nice little descriptors there for those magic numbers. So again, even here, we have our actions, we have our 5 actions as nice written items. Look good? That's some nice like maintenance cleanup we did. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we have a basic game of blackjack. So who's playing? Am I still using the rig deck? Hold on. Yep, nope, no one's playing that. No rig deck for you. Who's playing around a blackjack for us?
Jim wants to play.
She beat you this time. She beat you this time. Yep, she beat you this time, Jim.
I was thinking about it, but I said, you know, I'm not going to do it.
These two have a history of vouching, of volunteering each other. Jim, are you taking it up?
Yeah, I'll go.
Got a 17. What are you doing? Dealer has a 5-4.
Oh, got 9-17.
Yeah.
I'll double.
And you're out. Player busted. We can see it right away.
Yeah.
So we do know that works. So thanks for testing the busting system. Let's see. The dealer didn't bust. So yeah, that's perfectly valid there. So yeah, we got that.
I would have lost anyways.
Who's next?
I noticed it didn't say whether or not the player won.
It said the player busted, which technically means we lose. We're trying not to say they lost. So we're just saying that they busted.
I
Yeah,
would have lost anyways.
yeah, you would have.
Like, shouldn't it-
Well,
shouldn't it
I mean,
still
not
say
because
dealer-
he
shouldn't
would
it
have gotten the
still say
card. You,
Dealer wins at the end.
Oh, that's true.
it doesn't necessarily say dealer wins because technically it's not about whether it doesn't care whether or not the dealer won. You busted. That's the result. And that's the thing to remember in like blackjack at the casino, like we said before. If you're the only player and you bust, the dealer actually wouldn't go. They would just say, "Hey, you busted. Round's over." So that's why I'm not putting that the dealer won in that. But again, we can put that in there if it makes it more clear. So who's taking this round? I should probably ask this before I draw. So I'll take this one. I'll hit. I did not bust, I think, but
Oh,
it didn't show me
18.
what I got. I got an 18. I got a 2. I'm gonna stand now because I'm not gonna push my luck anymore. What the hell has happened?
Well,
The dealer had ace, ace.
dealer went crazy. Dealer
Oh,
won.
okay.
Wow, ace, then a 4 for
So
what is that? 15,
Yep.
then
19.
19.
What?
No, it wouldn't have been
Yeah,
19. No, that
total
wouldn't have.
19.
No, that wouldn't have been 19 because we have the 4 plus 9 is gonna be
15.
13.
94,
15.
14,
9 and
15,
8, 17, 18,
15,
Yep.
15. So hit again, got a
Oh, this is
19,
the
and then they
total
stood.
value.
Okay, so you were saying what they
Wow.
got at the end. So they got a 19 at the end plus a 5 card, Charlie.
Five-card Charlie
I
and automatically win.
could have hit again. No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't have. I had the 18 and I would have drawn a 4 because he already had the aces. Never mind. I would have busted.
Five-card
Okay,
Charlie.
I couldn't have won. Damn. Would I have won if he had gotten the 2? No, I don't think so. Damn, Jesus Christ, that was bull. That was not gonna happen. Okay, who's next? We've been on a roll. Me and Jim both kind of just dead. So who's taking the next stab?
I'll double
take
no
it.
matter what I get.
Then Mike,
Okay, Mike.
what are you doing?
Double
You
it.
can't split doubling on a 6. Okay. The best you can get is a 17.
Feeling it.
The dealer
I
busted.
told
Fire
you.
win.
Oh,
Told you. I've
It's a
seen you at
winner.
the casino.
wow.
And he has 3 threes. And
You
4
got it,
threes, all
Jesus
4 threes
Christ.
are
It's
out.
like Tom
Oh,
Brady.
they
You never
are.
bet
I got
against him.
Jesus Christ. Who shuffled this crap?
All 4 threes. Dealer got 1 and he got 3.
No, yeah. He got 3. Yeah, Mike had 3 threes. You should have been playing poker this time. What the hell?
But the
Dude,
chances
dude,
of getting all
weirdness.
4 threes on the table though.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
Because every time you draw a card, it's a 1 out of the first one. The first three is a 1 out of 52. The second 3 is a 1 out of 50. 1. The next 3 is a 4 out of 52 is to get 1 3. Then you got a 3 out of 51. Then a 2 out of 50, and then a 1 out of 49 is your odds. And that's not even accurate because 2 of those cards were these as well. So the odds were a little different when these 3s came out. But still, that's kind of the idea of joining 3 3s in a row. 4 4s in a row. Sorry. All right, who's one more? Let's go with another person. Who's playing?
I'll do it.
All right, Manny. Do it up. And Manny got a 12. What are you doing?
Let's hit.
All right, we got a 16. Dealer has
stand.
a 7 ace because he has an 18 already, by the way.
So stand.
I'm going to say it one more time. The dealer has an 18 already. So what's the dealer going to do?
He's probably stand.
Yes.
I
He's
mean,
gonna
I
stand.
recently learned.
Yeah. So if you
Blackjack.
stand right now, you instantly lose.
Okay, so hit.
Yeah, you were going to bust, but you had that was the only
You
option.
should have stood, man.
That's the Kobayashi Maru of blackjack hands.
You
Yeah.
wanna? Should we add a surrender feature or function?
We definitely
Yeah,
could. That's something
my-
you guys can add. I'm not adding it, but you can definitely add it.
My original quit option was just a system.quit, so that could do it.
Yep.
That is the option of
That's
turning
just-
off the GameCube when you're about to lose at Mario Party. So
Nice.
I was gonna say you're not just stepping away from the blackjack table. You're storming out of the casino.
you're
like,
flipping the
"Screw this.
table.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, you can definitely add the surrender option. What would that be like? If the dealer doesn't, what is the surrender? You only lose like a quarter of your. You only get to keep like a quarter of your
I
funds or
think it's
something.
half, right?
Half seems nice.
It's half.
I've only heard about it in this class, so I don't really know.
Same. I never heard about it either. So I knew about insurance, not surrender. So yeah, insurance, I think you pay like half of your bet. And if they have an ace, you get your money back. So you don't lose at least. But if they don't have a blackjack, you lose everything. So you bet 50, that means you have to pay 25 to insure. If they have blackjack, you get to keep your bet. So you don't lose your money. I don't think you earn anything. You just don't lose your money.
You're hedging.
Yeah. You're hoping that they have blackjacks so that you don't instantly lose your money. I would only ever do insurance though on a table that does a soft blackjack. So I would never worry about insurance on a hard blackjack table where they have to do jack ace. But yeah, if they do soft blackjack as a insuranceable item, then I'll be okay with that. Let's see. I think we're pretty good with that. That seems to be working, huh? So we have two options of what we can move on to next. We can move on to the wallet system first, or we can move on to the multiple hand system. What are we thinking?
Wallet.
Yeah, I think wallet would be a bit easier to test with just
Single player.
yeah.
All right. I'm okay with that. Don't tell me. So let's go double check some stuff. So if we think about it, we do have the wallet in the players. We go to the players item. We do have a balance of 1,000. Nice. We already have a balance. So now we just have to add to our system the getting of a bet. I want that still there. We take in our code here that we wrote. We see that the take bet should happen before the deal. Let's see. We have a get bet method here that asks for the bet. In the player class, we can't access the player class directly, can we? Really? We go player. Get bet. And we don't have that. We don't have a get bet method in the player, right?
Would it be capital?
We have a get met in the player. We don't have it in the actor class.
Yeah. In the hand class, I mean, yeah, we don't
Yeah,
have it in
we
the
get
hand.
bet.
Oh, we do have it there. So we get
Oh
bet.
yeah, in the
What's this
hand
going to give
class.
us?
Excuse me.
Yeah, so we have a get bet in the hand class. What does it do though? We go to the hand class. Get bet does what? Oh, get bet just returns us the current bet. That's actually not getting the bet that the player wants to do. We have a getter here, so that's one thing to keep in mind with getters. So it's possible you might want to actually change the
There's a-
name here,
Oh, yeah.
right? What can we change this for? Because get bet is hinting at getting a field. We know that the word get means to get a field. That's not what's happening here. So how do we want to change this?
Ask for bet.
We could do, yep, we could do ask bet, ask for bet,
Place-
we can take bet, place
Place
bet.
bet.
We can do
I like
place
place
bet.
bet.
You like place bet?
Then
What
you gotta
everyone else
change it
think?
in the, you gotta change it in the interface.
Good catch there. Yep, because we see the override here showing that as part of the interface. We got to go to actor first. I'm going to do get bet here. I'm going to go ahead and rename, refactor, rename. I'm going to name it to, oops, that was fun. Rename place bet. You see it updates here. We head over to dealer. We see that it updated there. So it looks like we're fine. And go back to player table. Again, that still updated the table though. So now if we look for that, we go back to player and do place bet, we still don't see that. Because we're in the hand class trying to access the player. So how can we get the bet through the hand class? What can we do again? What's that term called?
Pass
Override.
through,
What was it?
pass through.
Yes. Elaine, what did you say?
I said override.
Not quite, no. This is a pass-through. We're not overriding it because again, this is a method inside of a composition item. So we have a composition field. So the hand has a player. And so we want to make sure that the external table can access that player's method without accessing the player directly. We don't want to give access to the player directly. So what we're going to do instead, though, is give it access to that method as a path through by giving the hand class the same exact method. So what we're going to do here is do public. What's it? Void. Bet. We're just going to do actor. Okay. Holder. That was it. Right. Holder dot place bet. Simple, right?
We have to return that though, don't we?
Do we need to return it? What should we do? So yeah, we're placing the bet. What happens?
Oh, right. It's calling the get int, and then it's Is it?
So place bet does return it, but what should we do with that though?
Yeah, it returns the bet. We have to set it somewhere.
Where do we hold the current bet?
That's in hand.
Oh, wait, where are we right now?
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
we have some-
got it.
Just to do that, right?
yeah. Okay.
Okay, there we go. Cool. So that should get the bet then. Nice. We can do that. We should also probably take a look at the player class, make sure we print out the current wallet, right? Oh, we do. Cool. Place a bet between one and their current balance. Nice. Awesome. And return the result. Awesome. And then we can do player dot place bet. Cool. With that, let's head over to our display or determine winner now. Over here we bust, so we don't get the bet back. So we don't get the bet back. Over here, we want to award the bet, right? So we want to do, oh wait, let's see. We do player dot win? No, player dot give money. No, we want to give them money. So we need some way to make sure that the bet gets given back to the actor through the hand,
add money.
right? Plus two. We could do an add money. Let's see what player do we have? Player, do we have an add money?
No.
No.
No, we don't have anything for this yet.
So we would need that. So we do need to make sure that there's a award funds or win funds or earn funds or gain funds or add funds. What do we want to do?
We should do like a win and lose bet methods in the hand.
Now
And they
here's,
could just-
here's something to ask about that though. A lose bet. When should we be taking the money from their balance? When they place the bet or at the end when they win or lose? When should we
Oh.
take the money out of their
When
balance?
they place the bet, because you need to put it to their hand.
We need to give it to the hand, but also because we need to validate against their active amount of balance when they need to make a double or a split. If I have
Yeah.
$1,000 and I put a $700 bet down, but
Yeah,
I don't take it on my balance, I appear to still have enough funds to cover the double, don't I?
yeah. That's why it's the casinos. The casinos, once you put it down.
Yep, you
I
can't
wonder
touch
if
that
that's
bet.
why the programs that we played online have let us get negative.
Probably. Very possible. So are we removing that bet from the balance anywhere?
Yeah, when the bet's placed.
Oh, we are? Let's
Right.
see, place bet. Are we removing the bet from the balance?
I don't see it being removed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you.
That's just asking for it. right?
Nope, we didn't.
I thought you meant if we
I'm-
actually are. I didn't know that if you referred to actually in the code.
Nope. Bet equals that. We need to do balance minus equal bet. And then return bet. And then we can do, what was that? So now we don't need to worry about a lose kind of thing where we take away funds. All we need to do now is worry about a winning of funds, right? So we can do a public int add funds, add balance. Amount. Balance plus equal amount. Simple and straightforward, right? Oh, I don't need an int, void. Have that, and then the hand, what can we do here?
We could
You
use
bet.
double bet.
What's that?
We could use double bet to determine the amount to pay the person.
Ooh, we could use double bet to actually pay them if they get a normal win, right?
Right, because then there's special circumstances if you get like blackjack or 5-card Charlie.
Void win. We do, what is it? Folder dot. Oh, wait. Why is that not there? Why is that balance not there? I made it public, right? Yeah, I did. Why is that balance not available?
Because the hand.
Is it in the interface?
Ah, what is holder again? Mike's right. So Matt's right. So I'm gonna have Matt hold on now. I want people to see if they can catch on. What's
It's an
holder?
actor.
Holder's an actor, and our
Doesn't
ad
know
balance
what
is
kind of actor it is.
right. So we don't know what kind of actor it is. So one, we could typecast this because we're only going to run win on player. So we could typecast it. But what's better, of course, is doing what we've been doing before. We can go ahead and go back to our actor interface and go ahead and add that new item. So go ahead and do void win. And we're going to go ahead and add that to our dealer method. We're just going to do public win does nothing. Just like our shuffle, just like our get balance and place bet. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to move this up into the others where they're also not doing anything.
So with the win, you could actually, if you actually had a house balance, you can actually add all
We
that.
could do that, yeah. If you wanted to do that, you could actually give the dealer a balance, and if the player wins all the money, you can say they are the winner of the game and just end the game. So that is definitely something you could do if you wanted to.
What will we do for pushes?
Pushes, we don't win. Oh, no, we do win. Ah, so that's an interesting approach there too. So then think about, so yeah, hold that thought. Let's finish this up so we can see that. So now we have that. So now I can do holder dot win or holder dot, wait, no, I want to add balance. What, right? Yeah. Wrong one. Dang it. Add balance. Actor. Balance.
Okay, that's what I thought.
My bad. Matt, you caught that, didn't you?
Yeah, I got really confused. I thought you were going somewhere that I wasn't thinking.
Nope, I was
okay.
not. Add balance. And we can do, in this case, yeah, we're not going to use the double bet. We're just going to do bet times 2, right? Why is this yelling at me? Add balance and can be applied to an int. Why not?
You have it
You have a
void
void.
in
You have a void
the
in the
interface.
Interface.
So the method is a void method, isn't it?
Well, it's an int because you're asking for it, isn't
Oh,
it?
right. I need.
Well,
Oh,
that's how
sorry.
you parameters.
Here. Yeah, I need that. There is what I need. Yeah, int. I also wanted. Oh, can I not do that in Java? I thought I could do that in Java. You need to give it an identifier. Okay, fine. Mount. There we go. Int amount, and that means our dealer needs to have that there too. Dang it. There we go. That was me just being really lazy with that one. I did not add that to the actor efficiently. So that was the add balance of the int, because that's what we had in player. Add balance int. We of course have to add that to our dealer because our dealer has to have all the same methods. We're not going to do anything. And then here we are. So now it's happy. Okay. There we go. Yeah, double bet doesn't return that item, it just doubles the bet. So we don't actually want to do that. We just want to we want to add to the balance bet times 2. So that's something. Now, Freddie, you mentioned something that actually both Mike, you already put some items up of like the Blackjack win and a 5-card Charlie win. You're going to get something other than your bet times 2. I believe Blackjack is 2.5 would give you back. And then the 5-card Charlie, or we bet plus bet times 1.5. I don't know if that's 2.5. I'm curious. 50 plus 50. That's gonna be 100 times 1.5. That's the same amount? No, it's 125. Okay, so yeah, it's not gonna be 2.5. Same. 125. Okay, it's the same amount. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure that was the same amount. Yeah, we do that. So yeah, Blackjack, it would award you 2.5 your bet. So you're gonna get your bet back plus an extra 1.5 additional. 5-card Charlie gets you what back?
Times.
What's that payout?
You should get 200 from the dealer, so you should end it with 250, right?
Not sure. I'm confused. So don't worry about my what my bet is. I need to know the multiplier.
So it should be 4.
So 4 times your bet. So we have that. And then there was one more situation where the player does get money back.
Does it pays 5 to 1?
It's 5 to 1. So that would be 5x.
Yep.
Okay, so 5 times. Okay. Got it. So 5 times your bet, because we did take the bet out of them. So we want to give them 5 times. So, yep, so you pay, if you put down 50, you get 250 back. And then of course, there's one more situation in the game where the player does get money back.
Push.
Freddie said it, yeah. Freddie said it first, yep, John got it. In a push, we do want to give the bet back to the player. So we have, in our current game, we're not going to implement 5-card Charlie. We do have, and we can always add blackjack later, but right now we don't have that. We do have the 2 scenarios of a normal win. We also have the option for, what's what I'm looking for? Push. So we have some options here. We could keep it win. We can also just keep it, we could change this, couldn't we? What could this be?
Payout.
Yeah, we could do payout, and that works. And then what else would we need here?
Probably need a
Type
condition.
of win.
Figure out which one it is.
Yeah, type of win, right? Yeah, what kind of win was it? And we could do something very similar to something we've done before. What is that? What could we use to determine the different types of wins?
Some kind of code.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't we do that before? Where
You
else did we
rank?
use it? What's that?
Is it rank?
Not rank. We're not going with the card type, so nothing with the cards have anything to do with it. But didn't we use a code somewhere else in our system to evaluate different items?
You're
Switch.
talking about a switch case?
Switch, yes, but then again, what is the data type that we're going to use? We need to know the data type for our system. So I
We
need to
already have
pass
a,
the-
An
we already have something to, we already have a method to determine what type of, how your outcome is at the end of the game.
not the specific outcome, just that whether we won or not. So we don't know if we got blackjack or normal. We do have normal and push. So we do cover those two. But again, we need to be able to tell the payout whether it's doing a normal payout or a push payout. So what can we send a payout to know which one I should do?
I go with the conditional or a switch statement because you could have 2 of them.
Again, what am I
Are
switching
you
on?
asking, you're asking for a
Still-
parameter?
Right, yeah, I need to be able to tell a payout which payout to do. So a switch statement is fine, but what am I running the switch on? Here, ready? Sanity check.
Oh,
Do we just
Hold
do a
on, hold
Boolean?
on.
yeah, you could do a Boolean too.
What am I putting in there?
Well, yeah. You
Yep.
The
And then
value.
again,
Right. type of
before you say
payout.
Boolean, by the way, before you say Boolean, remember that later on, we want to be able to add blackjack payout and maybe even eventually 5-card Charlie payout. So there's card. Charlie. So there's 2 other
I think
payouts we
we
may
would-
eventually have to do.
I think we would need like the number of cards in your hand and the value of cards
Now
in your
again,
hand.
hold on, is payout doing that evaluation, or can win tell payout what type of payout to pay?
Didn't we just
You
change?
You guys
do,
are overcomplicate. You guys are overcomplicating this.
You could do a type of payout. I mean, the thing, the
Okay, before we go any farther, I need everyone to take 2 steps back. Hold on. Take 2 steps back for everybody here. Again, I need to understand how to tell payout, what type of payout to figure out. I'm going to tell you that the answer is literally on the screen right now. You just guys aren't looking around because we have another spot where we have a coded system where we have a certain data type meaning something else than what it actually is.
The actions.
Is it the byte system on the left for actor?
Look at these. The 1 stands for hit, the 2 stands for stand, 3 stands for double. Couldn't I just do 0 for normal win, 1 for push, 2 for blackjack, and 3 for 5-card Charlie?
Okay.
I think we were just a little
Simplify, people.
confused at how you were asking it, Blue.
I was asking like, again, how do I tell it? And so you guys, switch statement was accurate, but I'm telling you, what do I put here? I needed some sort of information, payout needed information.
yeah, variable called type of win.
Yeah, and so Boolean wasn't wrong per se if we were only going to stick to normal and push, but I want to make sure we always think about dynamic code. So always take a step back and think simple numbers, number. So we could do byte again if we want, or we want to just do int this time. What do you think?
I think byte should be fine.
Byte type. And I'm going to add those types here in hand. So grab it, final, right. Okay. 1 or 0. Private. Final. Byte.
Why are you doing those as byte?
Just so that they take up less memory. They range from the numbers 0 to 255. And we don't need that many numbers for this. If you use int, it's fine. So normal pay 0, push pay 1 to start. We can also flip those if you want, so that the push of no pay is 0 first, and then everything else is like the normal pay 1, then 2, then 3, depending on how much they get paid. So 0, they get paid the late least. 1, they get paid the normal payout. 2, they get paid a better payout. And 3, they get paid the best payout. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Is there a reason not to use like a byte list or byte array? I mean,
Good, but I don't like the inlines.
Is it, also, is it, can you
And
just
again,
use
I
one
want
and then
these terms here. So in the list, I'm not going to get these nice looking variable names. I'm going to get payout index 0, payout index 1, payout index 3, whatever. So I like
that makes sense,
this
that makes
one.
sense.
So I have those names. So we're going to do push pay as 0, because that's the least amount of money the player gets, and a normal pay of 1. And then that way we can even order them if we wanted to.
could you just use normal pay as a default? Because that would be just a normal pay.
Could do that, of course, and that way you could, and that could be an overloaded version. So you could have a version of payout that doesn't take a type, and that's just going to pay out the normal pay. 100% you could do that if that makes more sense to you. So 100% you can definitely do that. So we could definitely do a.
No, just saying the switch statement, have the default switch as being normal pay.
You could do too, but then again, some people might wonder like, why is there a default? Because the default then no longer has that kind of the variable name anymore, right?
instead of a
I
default,
would
couldn't
agree
you
with
just
that, too.
include the normal pay as part of it, regardless? Because if you win, you're always going to get the normal pay.
But
and
again,
then-
we're not always winning. We have payout. Remember, we mentioned that there's one other type of payout that isn't a win.
all right.
Yep.
No, I agree with you that if you did a default, that it wouldn't show, you guess. at it.
Variable. Yeah, you'd have to understand the program a little better.
Yeah,
It's not a bad thing to have it. I wouldn't be upset about it. It's just one of the things like, it's good to have that variable name, and then we can have the default behave as a error catcher that somehow the payout that we got a bad type in there. And what this is also really doing also is it's also restricting how we add money to our balance. This is a very nice tool to being able to kind of being able to restrict how the add balance method is being accessed. So we can't access add balance directly from the game because we can only get access to player through the hand. And since the hand doesn't make the player class public, the player composition field is private. So we can't access play directly, so we can't get to the add balance method. Because add balance just takes any amount and it will just give that to their balance, right? So it's a kind of dangerous method. As long as if we can get access to the player object or the player instance, we can just start adding money to their account, period. But since we can only add money to the player's account through this payout system, and the payout only takes a type, it very much restricts what we can do. It limits our availability to adding to the player's payout. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than just being able to say, hey, just add $100 to this character, to this player. So type, in this case, we're going to do case. What is it? We'll do push pay first. We're just going to go ahead and do holder.add balance. Okay. And I don't know why I did a colon. That should be the arrow. There we go. Case normal pay. This guy right here. That look good for the time being until we decide to add in the logic for like blackjack and stuff like that. All good. Cool. Awesome. What's he yelling at me? Yes, I know it can be converted to a local variable. I don't like static values in a local variable. So no, I'm not putting it inside the thing. So we also might want to, oh, because it's private, right? So it's fine. I like these here at the top. That way I can easily change them without having to go to the method. So I like them here. But they can be local. That way they're not a universal item. But anyway. Back to our main.
Let the
back to our-
IDE dictate your coding.
What's that?
Don't let the IDE dictate your coding.
True. Yep. Well, 100%. It's not always best. Again, this one I will say is fine. You can just do this in a voided method. You could just do an empty body, by the way. So that's fine. You don't have to do a return statement. This right here is considered explicit return or explicit empty method. So I do want to clarify that one. That warning there is fine. So if you're okay with that, some places are okay with that. Check with your company, but this is considered this is a non-explicit empty method. A return statement inside of a void is considered an explicit empty method. It's showcasing I did this intentionally. It's not a method that I haven't defined yet. So that's the purpose behind it. So just be aware of that. Back to table. There we go. So now I want to make sure we win. So I win, we're going to do player.payout. I'm going to do the type of, oh, right, that's why I want to make these public, right? Public. I don't know why I made them private. Public. There we go. So I want to do thing, that,
Something I
and
just
that.
just
There we go.
realized on something.
Go ahead.
Is this, since your card game package is underneath all these other packages, does that become protected because it's under the universal package versus underneath individual packages?
Sorry, one more time. What are we talking
Okay,
about?
so you have card game package, right?
Uh-huh.
Can you make line 13 in the hand class protected because it's considered in the card game package versus
No, so
individual
protected is,
packages?
so protected, it falls under the most local package.
Okay,
So it would be
all right.
protected within the package it's in. So since that's
Okay.
hand is in Blackjack, it would be protected within Blackjack. And again, it's within children. So because table isn't a child of hand, table wouldn't have access to it.
All right. 'Cause I just
Yeah.
was thinking about that. 'cause
Protect
your
is
card
within
game
the
is
most
the
local.
universal
Yeah.
package,
Nope.
but,
It's within the most local package it's in. So yeah.
okay.
Yep. So you got normal pay here. Over here, we're going to do player.payout hand.pushpay. So we can see how that works pretty nice, right? That look good. Sense. Let's see if this works. So at the end of this now, we do at the end of the whole thing, at the end of the whole method, well, can't do that now because if returns. So ooh, maybe I do want to do else's now, because now what I want to do now is at the end of this, I want to print out the player's wallet. So S out. Well, I guess I don't have to do it inside of determine winner. I don't have to do that there. I can do it up here after this. Yeah, there we go. That works. So, player dot. Oh, I don't have the wallet, do I? I can't display their wallet here, can I? All right, one last
No,
thing
but we
need.
have a get balance though.
There's a get balance, yeah.
We have a
You have
get
that?
balance in the actor.
It's in the interface.
Okay.
Interface.
So our hand class can do it. So what do we need again? One more time? What's that thing called? Good. I was gonna say, Matt, don't say it. I'm pretty sure you know it. You're a TA.
Yeah,
Someone I
I
haven't heard
Really
from.
true.
So
I did.
Sergio, Keith, one of you two.
bite my tongue.
Or who else we got? Richie, Sergio. Well, Sergio's at work, so maybe not Sergio. Manny or Eridan. One of you guys, what is the thing called? Want to access a method inside of a composition class.
Begin with an I.
Nope. P.
P.
Mhm.
Damn it.
Travis, I can include you in this. So Travis,
Pass
you got
Say a T.
Pass through.
there it is. Yep. I knew as soon as you heard it, Keith, you're gonna be like, damn it, I knew that word. I knew you knew it. I was like, he's gonna hate when he hears it. So public
He's passed through with.
balance. Folder dot get balance. There it is. And you see that semicolon there. Get balance. I'm gonna S out that. There we go. Let's run one round now and see if we actually can do it.
73 still has a line 73 in your hand class still is red.
Why is it return? Oh, return.
Yeah.
Right, so you need to actually return the value. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, play. All right, hey, look at that. We're being asked for our bet. How much we betting, people?
Bet it all.
At all.
All right, this will be a great way to make sure that the double doesn't appear, which it does not, so that's good. So the double does not appear. Nice. All right, we have a 16 on our 1,000. This is great. Where's surrender? What are we doing, people?
Gotta hit,
The
gotta hit.
dealer has a 20, so yep, we are in. There's our wallet at 0. So that worked well. We sat at the table, we threw 1,000 down, got a 16 and busted. Way to go, people. Everyone here should go to Vegas. We can go join David for 5 minutes and then leave. All right, let's go again. What's our bet this time?
500.
All right. That should allow the double, which it does, because we do have exactly that available. So good test there.
Stand.
We have an 18 and the dealer has to hit. So yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. We'll stand and we did
Ah,
win.
man.
Why is our money at 500 though?
Because we lost.
Dealer won.
We lost.
Oh, they did. Damn it. I don't know why I didn't read that. What did he get? Oh, he got a 21. God damn.
Yeah,
He got
Of
the-
course.
God damn it. All right, let's try that again. We might have to use the rig deck to make sure we win. So, 500. We have it. God damn it. There's 16 and the dealer does have a 15 though, so we could bank on the dealer busting because they have
Let's
to hit.
double this time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, double.
Are you literally gonna have his double on a 16 again?
Double.
Well, we didn't double last time, did we?
No, we didn't, but we busted. So, but it
Why did
didn't
it
take
still
our
say five?
funds.
How much did we bet?
We bet 500. Wait. Oh, so wait, we doubled, didn't we?
1,000.
Let's try
I
that
don't
again.
think
Hold
we-
on.
I don't think we actually double the bet. I think we just check to see if the balance is there, but we don't actually take the bet again.
Well, take a look at this. Yeah, look at this. Double bet times 2. But did we actually take away from the balance here? We didn't, did we?
Now you just doubled it with the casino's money.
We did. We took the casino's money. Oh, geez. So we should probably do something that. So we need to be able to reduce the balance somehow of the player. Do we have that ability? So holder dot. What is it? Add balance. We could do there is a evil
You
thing
a
we can do
negative
here.
Number to add balance.
We could do that, yes. So we can do bet times -1. And that will do that'll do a negative number to our add balance, which will then deduct that much from it. So again, this is us not wanting to have to add yet another method to our actor class or to our player, which would then have to add another method to our interface.
Could
You
we
just do
just
negative
call
bet.
it,
If you could do instead of bet times -1, if you could just do negative bet.
Can I do that in Java? Some languages will let you, some languages don't. So let's find out.
Could
Hey,
you go
cool.
over? Could you go over what's going on there again? I was
Yes.
typing and I missed it.
No worries. So in our double bet, we aren't actually. Oh, it's not that Google. So in our bet system, we don't have an explicit reduce balance or anything like that. We need to take that bet from the balance again. So when the player doubles, we need to make sure we double their bet, but also take that money from the balance again, like we did before, right? So I put 250 down and I want to double, I need to put another 250 out of my balance.
Oh, got it. Okay.
We weren't doing that. That's why at the end of our double, we still had 500 in our wallet, even though we bet technically a total of 1,000. So
Got
we
it.
were just telling the bank, we were just telling the casino, yeah, double my bet, even though I'm not going to give you the funds. So great for the player, but not good for the actual casino.
Right.
Yeah,
so
add
can't you
balance,
just place the bet times 2?
we do
Could you just run place bet?
place bet does what though? What is the actual behavior of that?
Oh, yeah, place bet asks you what you're doing. That's
Right, so you'll be asked how much you want your double to be worth.
Right,
So you
right,
could always
right,
put,
I forgot about that.
which could be a cool feature, don't get me wrong. You could have it where a double isn't actually doubling your bet, but asking you, what do you want to put down? And you could even have it be fun where it's even gonna say, yeah, if you want to, you can put the rest of you could go an all-in kind of mentality with a double down. You get one more card and you can set how much you wanna increase your bet. So act it more like a raise instead of a double down, which is kind of cool. So that could be a cool feature, but in this case, what we're doing now is we're taking advantage of how addition works here. And so instead of having to make a second method that is explicitly saying it's going to reduce balance, since our add balance system doesn't validate whether or not the amount is positive or negative, if we give a negative amount, if you do 50 plus negative 25, what do you get?
25.
Right. So adding a negative to a positive brings it down. So you always do the opposite of what this symbol is. So if you ever see a number, so n, a symbol, so we're gonna use y, that's your symbol, and then a negative, another number, which we'll do m, the y gets flipped. So if it's plus, it's the n plus negative m is equivalent to n minus m. And minus negative m is equivalent to n plus m. So that's a cool little trick to be aware of. Whenever your second item is a negative value, the operator gets flipped. Nice little rule of thumb there. And again, just to confirm that, 50 minus negative 25 gets you 75. So fun little thing there. So that's what we're doing here. We're taking advantage of the fact that our add balance just takes the amount and adds it to the balance. So if we give add balance a negative value, that turns an add balance into subtract balance. So that's just us taking advantage of how math works. So we don't have to create yet another method, because if we add another method to holder or to player, what do we have to do? If we add another method here, what do we have to do in order to have access to it? Sanity check.
The interface.
Right. If we add another method to player, we have to add it to both the interface and the dealer. So by taking advantage of how add balance works, we're saving us the effort of having to add another method to 3 things. So this is us just taking advantage of what we already have. So let's reset it. Make sure we can do that test again. The trick is, can we actually lose 500? Give it 9. I guess we're going to try doubling, right? Double.
So you got 20.
Did.
Nice, it worked though. The double worked.
Did. And I had 9. I had 9, 4 and 5. Got a 19, but the dealer still won.
Okay, the double worked. You have 0 balance.
Yeah, but yeah, the double did work. So I did get it out of my balance. So they did take the other 500 out of me. So I didn't get a free $500 double anymore. Oh, no more benefits for the player. Let's see if we can win on a double. Let's try one more time. See if we can win on a double, so we can make sure we get the win on 1,000, not a win on 500. Well, actually, have we won yet? I don't think we have. Let's do a normal 500 and just try winning right now. So I have an 8. I'm gonna hit 11. They have a 16. Hit. Hey, there we go. They are gonna hit, but they did bust, which is great. So good. We got our so good. We got $500 back. So we got we only got our bet back. So we got back the original 500, bringing us to 1,000, and then the additional 500 to put us at 1,500. So that did work. Good. Now let's test the double. Good luck for us winning. We might have to use the rigged deck to make sure we win on a double. So we'll use the double, 15, which is difficult. Nope, we busted. Oh, no, we didn't bust. We actually got it. We fine. We got, what was it? 20, wait, no, wait, did we? Oh yeah, the player's here.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, we got fine. We got a 16.
You got 2,000. You won.
Yep. And look, the double worked. We got a return on our $1,000 bet. Yeah, so it seems like our wallet system works now, doesn't it? Very nice. So I think now we're ready to add in multiple hands. And with that though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you guys to update the system over the next 2 days on that. All I'm going to do is give you this. Dang it. I'm doing this bad. List, hand, hands, equals this array list. And then list. So this is what I'm going to give you. And so the purpose of this is that we do have a list of players so we can iterate through the players to get each bet one by one. That's the reason for this. The only reason we need the players list is so we can loop through each player to get a list, because we can't get, notice how here we actually have to, well, actually, no, we can do it through the hand, can't we? But we, ooh, hold on. We do want to change this a little bit, but do we want to actually have access? Do we actually need access to the players? I wonder. I'm trying to think. I'll let you guys see if you can figure out how to do it without access to the players list, but I had a players list. For me, I actually iterated through the players to get the bet, but we do have the place bet pass through on the hand now. And so it is viable that before we can create each of the hands, the initial hand for each player, ask them for a bet. And if they don't want to bet, we can always delete the hand before we deal. So we actually could do it without the players list. So I'm going to say this for an additional challenge. All right, so here we go. To do. Implement. In this case, again, don't worry about updating split yet. Do not worry about split. Just see if you can get it to where we can have multiple players now, multiple hands.
What's line 16 for?
Hold on, I want to say, so to do. Originally, my players list was so I could iterate through each player one by one to ask them for their bet. Because then I don't know if you remember, Jim, in my example with you guys, we didn't have the pass through for place bet on hand.
Right.
So we actually did that this time. That's new. So I'm actually, we might not need the players list now. So
Good.
here's this. So to do more comfortable, we'll call it. More comfortable or had more difficult challenge. Try to accomplish out players.
Should line 17 be players bet so we know what players actually is and what that list is for?
Again, you're going to be updating a lot of this stuff. So yes,
Yeah.
the goal is that you're no longer going to be using player anymore. So do move this item. So there we go. We don't want player anymore. So you don't want line 14. You shouldn't need line 14 anymore. Line 14 should exist inside of our hands list and maybe in players. The only other reason I will say, so I will clarify this though, there is still I just realized there is another reason to have the players item. If we did want to do that system where people can leave the game in the middle, or if they bust, we take the hand out of the game, we need the player for the next round to be able to then put all the players, give each player at least one hand to start. So we may not need the players list anymore to get the bet. We do need to make sure we have the player list to at least give one hand for each player in the start. So we make enough hands for each player. We can assign that player to each hand. If we want to use that system, like you said before, where if all players bust, the dealer doesn't go, that trick you came up with, Jim, was that if a player busts, we delete their hand from the list so that they're not in the end result. They just removed, which means they won't get a you busted command at the bottom. Just be aware of that if that happens, we won't iterate through the list showing that they busted, so they lost. So if you don't do that though, if there's never a chance where we're going to remove the hands from this list, then we may not need the players array. The only item is at the end of any round, we need to make sure later on, we can touch base on that later. Never mind. Don't worry about that. I don't want to talk about that yet. So the more comfortable attempt here would be to not need the player list. You may not need that because we can just keep at least one hand for each player at all times in the hand list. As long as we have that, we can use the pass-through methods to access details about the player. Make sense? Cool. So let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. What I will say though, instead of still dealing with trying to get players from the console yet, what I would say is dynamically just add or just programmatically add 3 players, player 1, 2, and 3, and just see, can you get that to work? And hell, even make one, if you want, make one of the players a dealer, a player class. So they act like a dealer. That makes sense? The last thing I want to do to update this is I just want to do a little cleanup here, by the way. Right here. I want to change this, by the way. One more pass through.
Don't you have already in the,
Not in hand, we have it in player, so we need to get the,
you have it in the interface though?
again, that's why we need to do this.
Oh,
Pass through, right? Remember?
yeah.
When you say pass through, does that mean you're passing that same variable from,
Not variable, method.
okay,
So
method?
yeah, we're just using the same method name to then pass through hand into player, or into the actor in this case. So we're taking that same method name and just giving that same method name to the parent class or the container class. So hand, remember, hand has an actor. Actor has a get name method that is private. Oh no, protected. Private, protected, protected.
It's a,
Public. Public. 'cause
well, it's in the
yeah.
interface though. You
Yeah,
have
so it's
like,
public. Yeah, it's public. So it's
Yeah.
public.
Yeah.
But it's only public if you have access to the actor directly. And since actor is private, holder's private, you can't access it directly. You can't do hand dot holder dot something. You don't have access to that. So in this case, we do a pass through. So we have the same exact method name. We just don't have to do hand dot holder dot get name. We just do hand dot get name.
Oh, all right. It's like a little chain.
Exactly. It's like a baton pass. Yeah. That's why we call it pass through, because you're passing the call through. Hand gets the call for get name, and hand just says, oh, here you go, holder, this is for you. You need to do this, and I'll send it back. So it's pass through method. So get name. That way, now we have that. There you go. Now we have our John Wick dealer. Where else am I printing dealer though? Hold on. I am printing it there, here too, and here. Okay, so I'll let you guys update more of those later. We'll update those later. But oh no, can we do that here? Yeah, we should do that here. Never mind. That's fine. Yeah, you'll just update determine winner, but that is going to be an item in itself, by the way. So I will say this needs to be updated as well to be able to handle more than one player now. So right now this is dealing with a single player. Be aware of that. But there's a bunch of places where that's happening, where it's dealing with a single player. So you might need to make some changes to it. But I'm not going to talk about that yet. That's not for me to deal with. Yeah, make some changes. So this is kind of your challenge. So again, you got 2 days for it. So you got tomorrow to work on this. You got a little bit of time tonight since we just hit 9 right now. So you, again, class supposed to go until 9:30. So I would say at least spend half an hour maybe coming up with your plan of attack on this. How are you going to look through it? So go through, make some notes, maybe some comments. But you want to see how much of this can you convert? What do you, and even if worst case scenario, let's say you don't know how to convert it, mark off the areas you think need to be converted. Can you do at least have the awareness of what code here needs to be modified? Because this kind of approach, this low level to high level approach only works if you know how to take what is a single player process now to then add the multiple people in. So being able to be aware of that is going to help you later on in your games when you try to add multiple players as well. Because every single game I think I gave you can be multiple played, can be played with multiple players. Crazy Eights definitely can have more than 2 players. Rummy can have more than 2 players. I think it's usually played with only 2, but I think it can have more. Yeah, Rummy can have more than 2 players. Texas Hold'em definitely has more than 2 players. Very common to have more than 2. And then even Uno is known to have more than 2 players. While all 4 can be played with only 2, all of them definitely can be played with more than 1. So this process right here is definitely something you're going to have to do, whichever project you create. No matter which one you do, every single one you do, is going to be a multiple player game. So this is a step in your process. So take this one seriously, take a good shot at this. You'll have tomorrow to work on this. And then again, 1 hour in the start of class. So start a class on Thursday. What we'll do is we'll actually start class at 5:30 instead of doing the little kind of talk around a bit where we wait for people to come in. We'll actually go ahead and create the breakout room right away. So everyone can just jump in. So you can have a good like hour to hour and a half to work on this as well for those who have work today, tomorrow and the next day. So you have at least an hour and a half to work on this minimum if you don't put any time tomorrow in. But again, we always tell you guys, expect 20 hours worth of homework. So put some time in tomorrow on this. And if you need any help, reach out, put Slack. You guys can meet up with each other, anything you need to do. So take a stab at this, because this task right here is something you're going to have to do yourself in your project that you build yourself. So this is definitely something you want some practice on. So take a stab at it. Like I said, bare minimum, identify the spaces where you need to make changes. That should be your bare minimum. And that's something you could even do today. Try to outline the spots that need changes. I'm also going to get rid. I don't think we need this. I'm going to leave it there for you guys for now, though. But we're going to remove this from Thursday. But there we go. Ooh, right. That's fine. Oh, wait. Damn.
You gotta commit everything before you.
Not quite. If I want to go to main, I do, because the same files exist in main. So yeah, I need to do git checkout and do another branch. Even though it's branching out from this branch, it's fine. I'm just going to merge them all back into the main. I should have done this in the beginning of class and I got sidetracked. Dang it. I'm upset with myself, but it's fine. I just want to make sure that the branch does exist for you guys. So this is going to be Jesus, come on. Going to merge everything. So both branches are now in the main. So main now has our current code. But again, for anybody who wants to still tackle yesterday's stuff, you can still go, or of course, and pull the additional options branch. You can also pull this option later on if you don't get to start this. So yeah, the branches again are meant for at the end of every class. So you can always go back and try a certain point, a checkpoint. So if this was a challenging one, after, let's say tomorrow we go through it and you're like, okay, I see what he did, but I want to still try it again. At any time, you can pull this branch down, the game logic branch, and try the assignment again to see if you can rebuild what we did in class. So that's the goal of these branches. So even today, if you want to, you can check out the additional options branch and redo everything we did today when watching the video. So that is the purpose of these branches for the GitHub, is that you can pull out a certain branch for the beginning of the video, follow along live at any time. So you can do it whenever you need to. So if there's a certain class that you feel like, I need to do this one again because it was really interesting and I'm not sure I totally got it. That's the purpose of these branches. You can do that as many times as you need to. Sound good?
I have one question just to get
Go
my
for it.
mind like straightened out here.
Yeah.
Is a plan of attack and pseudocoding the same thing?
It's similar, yeah. Pseudocoding is a method of planning of attack. Yeah, it's a way to plan your attack. 100%. It's a way to organize your thoughts and to write logic without writing code. But pseudocode is the idea of computational logic without using any sort of specific language syntax. So it's as close to a scripting language as you can get without actually being runnable by the computer.
Yeah, because I don't think even the previous ones we didn't really per se have plan of attack. We were doing pseudocoding more than plan of attack.
Yep, which works well for like algorithm and early on because it's still simple. Plan of attack for me works better for projects with multiple components. And then what I tend to sometimes do though is I'll pseudocode the methods. It's the methods. So that's what this is for me. This to me is an example of like the pseudocode in a way, a very high level. So pseudocode for me I use to break down an individual feature, but plan of attack is how I break down a project into smaller chunks.
Okay.
Yep. So as we get farther, when you guys get into, for example, your full stack project, yeah, plan of attack the full stack project. Then when you go to make your routes for something, you'll pseudocode each individual route. Be like, okay, what is this route's logic? What's going to happen in this route? So same thing when you get to your card project, same thing. You'll do the plan of attack, but then yeah, when you get into one of the methods, pseudocode the logic of the methods, so you can make sure that the methods steps that are going to happen in that method make sense to you. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, pseudocode to me doesn't work in trying to, you can't really pseudocode an entire project. That's massive. That's going to be very, very dizzying to look at pseudocode for an entire project. But pseudocode is meant for, yeah, breaking down an individual, like a task or approach or method or function. So plan of attack, from what I know, yeah, plan of attack for me is when I have a large scale project, I need to break into smaller chunks so I can approach it bit by bit and know what my next step is. Make sense?
All right.
Last thing I do want to mention, by the way, just to kind of bring it up, if you take a look quick, we didn't need the game class. The game and table, like we said, were kind of similar, so we weren't sure if we needed them. We just ended up putting everything in table. We can always look at it again to decide, do we want to keep the name table? Do we want to change it to game? Are there methods in table that we want to pull in the games? We can always do that, and that might be the last thing we do on Thursday, if we have enough time. So Thursday, we're definitely going to be adding in the multiplayer aesthetic, or the multiple actors. And then maybe we'll have the time to dig into, do we want some refactoring time? We might on Monday, if we want to do some code, try to create like a card counter or the logic AI. But again, that's going to be your weekend challenge, is to add your own third actor. So that is going to be the weekend challenge. So start thinking about it now. Don't do any pseudocode or projecting because you have an assignment already for you. So don't waste any time getting distracted or sidetracked. I was not going to say anything. the nod there, but yeah, don't get sidetracked with that project until you finish the first assignment. So do this
Like
one,
the
but yeah,
James Bond actor, he always wins.
yeah, there you go. Jesus. But how do you do that without you creating the rigged deck system or giving it the ability for him to just generate cards out of thin air?
At the end,
Guess you
he
can always
just
do
says,
that.
James Bond, I automatically win.
There you go.
He just pulls them out of his sleeve.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the only way we could do that. If he could just his get action in his hit just generates the card he wants.
His deal is always a blackjack.
Yeah, there you go. Jesus. But yeah, definitely have some fun. Think about what kind of additional actor you can do. So think about the type of actor you want. Don't do any sort of logic. If you want to think about it now, spend no more than like 30 minutes on it. Again, your main focus course is the current assignment. This could be something you reward yourself to think about if you complete the current assignment. So you can always do the current assignment knowing that if you complete it on time, you actually do it, you can then start thinking about your actor that you're going to create over the weekend. And that could be a fun little, that's gonna, what do I want to create? What do I want to add? Because what's fun is that depending on what you guys do, we can add all of yours to my one project so that it's on our GitHub so that you can download and play with any of those actors you want to play with. So you'll be able to actually play the game with any of the actors we all come up with. So we can have some really cool fun with that. So everyone's actor can be brought in. So you can even create an actor that is your decision process. So how would you play in the game, you know? So you can always add your decision logic on there. So have fun with that. But again, that is, you can think about that a lot as a reward for finishing your current assignment. Last but not least, Mike, let's take a look at that thing you built, by the way.
All right, like I said, I think a lot of people have already seen it, but I'll go ahead and
Yeah,
share.
it's fine. It's still fun. I want to make sure that everybody has seen it. So it was still kind of fun.
All right, so it's a little.
Oh,
project
yeah.
Like a week or
So-
two ago. Oh, I'm gonna have
Jab.
to click on it to move them. But yeah, I think a lot of you guys have seen this.
I haven't seen this.
No, I don't think I've seen this.
Yep. He made
So
a
that's-
fighting game.
He's making his that's a robot that's doing the fighting on the other side.
Yeah, he's not actually controlling the right-hand side guy. He's controlling the left-hand side. And he puts his hands up so that you know he's not faking it.
Cool.
It's mostly randomized. Like he doesn't really have any logic to himself. We talked about how he could use the weighted system to give him some sort of sense of logic, which a lot of the game AIs tend to do that. They have a weighted decision process based on what the current scenario is. So they're more likely to do something if this scenario is.
Awesome. Can you do a kill?
Yep, I'm trying to get to him. With it.
He doesn't have any fatalities, if that's what you're asking. Though. There's,
He
there's
does
no
fall.
stick figure death theater. He does fall, but there's no stick figure death theater type stuff here.
The nuance comes and then just goes up.
Blast for the past for some people.
Woof.
And as you beat them, like the difficulty, it goes down, but it actually gets a lot harder until it gets to like 10. Because the difficulty is the amount of time, like the maximum amount of time it takes him to make a decision.
It's his brain speed.
Yeah, basically. So like the more you kill him, like the better he gets.
Oh, cool.
Hold on, let me show
Very,
you
very
real
cool.
quick.
That closed the whole screen share because you're just sharing the screen.
Okay, hold
so.
on. I'm just gonna adjust the code real quick. I just want to change the difficulty so you can see how intense it goes.
Starts off fast. Okay, you're gonna start him off difficult.
All right, so
That's cool. I didn't see this part, so I'm actually curious to see how the difficulty changes.
yeah, so this is like right towards the end. This is almost max difficulty.
I'm
Hold on,
very
I just
curious
gotta-
about this now.
I gotta load it up,
All right.
and then I gotta share it. Hold on.
So while he's
let me
getting it
move my
started,
guy.
by the
He's
way,
already-
my big thing to again, when we want to show this again is hopefully to inspire some of you guys just build something. It doesn't have to be this fancy or anything like that or this crazy, but it can also just be really interesting. He's
If
just
you got-
floating.
Like double jumps and stuff. You see how you just had like a triple punch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
roundhouse.
Go get him.
I had a lot.
Go
of
get 'em,
fun.
man.
I just like to like do my own
Get 'em.
stuff. So it's something, and it took me like a weekend, but I just started with just the one character, just trying to make him do something. And I was like, you know what? If I can make him do that, then I could just make him do something else. And you just like build it a little bit at a time and constantly test things, change things around.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
You had to develop hitboxes, didn't you?
the boxes, yeah. So this is just like
No,
so I did-
hitbox. Like what part of his body, like how close you have to be for
Oh,
a jab to connect.
yeah.
So he has a
exactly.
hitbox.
Oh well, he's whooping my ass.
I just watched that HP drop. There we go.
Oh
Oh, I
man.
forgot. Yeah, you also mentioned his HP is randomized.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
we have
It
no idea how
always
much
starts
HP he
off, so
actually
the
has.
first fighter,
What's that?
is always 150, and then it's
Okay.
randomized up 150 after.
Oh Jesus.
Need a cheat code.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no, I need to like type in chicken or something.
The
Yeah.
Konami code.
Why, can't you just crouch and just keep punching him crouched?
No,
You do have a crouch
yeah,
command.
actually, I think that's true. I think if you crouch, he doesn't take any damage.
You'll get hit. in
Oh
the
my
head.
Pretty much, yeah. he's
The
bulletproof.
hitbox isn't there.
If I had more, like, so I just use a sprite sheet for this, so I didn't make these animations myself. I just found a page of them. It didn't
Nice.
really have all of them for me to like, for
Yeah.
him to
You
get
can
hit
see
on the
they're kinda
bottom,
gl-
but
they're
not
not
the top.
the
then
best
hit
qualities.
on the
Yeah.
top, but not the bottom. So I just worked with what I had.
That's
And
just
plus, you
it.
can
No,
see
you
he
don't have to
doesn't-
create everything.
Yeah, he doesn't. And I can make this happen. I know how to do it because obviously, like the enemy gets hit. Like you can see the player takes damage, but nothing happens as far as animation.
Mhm.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely still more room for improvement, but I did have a
Of
lot of
course.
fun. I was showing Cliff the other day, so
Yeah, that's why I mentioned this show today. Well, again, my goal for this is just to hopefully inspire you guys to just want to build anything. And it doesn't have to be like the craziest, funnest thing, but the more you build, the more you learn, the more you get better at stuff. So just find, like, if you're struggling with an assignment, instead of taking that as a way of saying, you know what, I'm a failure, I can't do this, I don't know if I can do this, just build something else and build something simple. What you're trying to do there is do a couple things. One, you're trying to build confidence in yourself. You're showing yourself that you can do some things. You can build some things. Two, you're building, you're helping yourself develop some, honestly, some dopamine. You're trying to get some of that happy sensation, which helps us to focus a little better and helps us to want to do more with it. Confidence is a huge thing. It's one of the things we have to build. We tell you guys, we are going to build with you before your interview. It's why during the interview phase, we give you massively difficult questions and we want our interview to be more difficult than theirs. So when you go in, I can't stop you from feeling nervous during the interview. Not going to happen. What I can do though is when they start asking some questions and you're like, I know these questions, you start feeling this confidence, and that's going to overshadow the nervousness. That's going to help you fight it and keep pushing through. So confidence is a great way to get through nervousness, self-doubt, all that kind of stuff. So for us, that's one of the things you want to develop. So if you're struggling with an assignment, if you're struggling with finding time to code, especially even with burnout, the best thing you can do is find ways to help yourself feel confident in yourself, confident in your skill and your ability. So complete simple algorithms, go back through free code again, look at some of your code and realize, oh, I can update this code. Like that's one of the things as much as I hate looking at my old code, I also like looking at my old code and realizing I can write better code now. Like even just this project alone, doing Blackjack with you guys, not only have I now know Java better, you guys also know Java better than what I knew before. Because you guys have been pointing out things like, oh, wait, we can do that. That's awesome. So it's a great feeling for me is to know that during this process, we are getting better, that not only am I getting better, but the cohorts themselves are getting better, that you guys as a cohort know more than the previous cohort did at this point. And so that's a really strong feeling for me as a instructor to see that and know that and feel that. So you guys definitely know more than you think you do. You definitely can do this. The main thing that you need to also do is help yourself to realize that. And so my biggest recommendation is to, build stuff, do small things. And this is why I take the approach with the projects that I do, these small testable steps. I take this approach because, especially for me, and I spoke to some of the students about this, like I said before, I have ADD. I was diagnosed when I was in high school for this. Maybe even junior high I might have been diagnosed. I don't remember how young I was when I was diagnosed with it, but I was diagnosed with it. And one of the main things is just I struggle with dopamine fixes, and I struggle with keeping on task. And I want to do other things. I get bored if I don't feel like I'm making progress, or I don't feel like I want to do it. I can be very easily distracted. And so this small bite approach, this making sure I can test things and make sure things work the way I wanted them to do repeatedly helps me to get that hit of like, hey, it did it. It worked. What I wanted to do worked. It happened. Yes. And I get that happy, excited feeling. I get confident and I want to do the next thing. Like, all right, I'm on a roll. Let's go. If I'm not testing enough, I have to question it. And then especially if I went for like an hour, hour and a half, and I didn't test anything and I go to test it and it doesn't work, that can be a real hit to my enthusiasm and my confidence. And it can make me be like, you know what? I want to work on this tomorrow. I'm done today. I'm aggravated. Because now I have to go through an hours and a half worth of work to find out what the problem is and why I didn't do what I wanted it to do. So for me, this is some of the other reasons why I do the approach I do. What I will say to anyone here though, if you struggle with this kind of approach, you don't have to follow this approach. If you're someone that does do better making larger blocks and not testing because you're more confident in what you write and having that confidence in what you write is better for you and you're good at debugging, then you can do that. I just do find that this approach for me works good from ADD. It works good for finding bugs quickly so I can get rid of them before they become large scale bugs or bugs hidden in a lot of code. And so this is why I figured out this approach. But again, 100%, you can adjust your approach to your personal aesthetic. Every human is different. Every person is different. So always feel free to adjust. And that's why I always recommend you do connect with other classmates so that you can find those other approaches, those approaches that work for you. If I don't have them, I don't know those other approaches and how to sell them or explain them in a way that's going to fit for that mentality. I have to explain them in my mentality. And in my mind, those approaches don't work for me. So I'm going to give them a slight bias. So 100%, if you feel like you have a better approach and it's going to work better for you, go at it. And you can definitely find a classmate that is similar so you can try it together. Take advantage of the fact that you have the family here, the classroom here. These guys are they're your partners as well as your hopefully your coworkers soon. So that is the goal. Sound good? But anytime, if you're stuck or having issues, reach out to me. And even if you're nervous about bothering people, just reach out in the class. You don't need to reach out to anyone specific. Just post in the class. I could use some help. Who's free? By doing that, you're not bothering anybody because you're not calling anyone out. And that way someone who's free can say it. But I will say what that also does is it allows me to then be the person that can inconvenience someone by calling them out. To be like, hey, can you help this person? So I'll do that for you. I will gladly do that for you. If you're concerned about getting help from someone, if I see that you're asking for help and no one's helping you, I will start tapping on shoulders. I will start being like, hey, can you help out? So I am not afraid to ask you guys because I know that's going to benefit you guys, and that's my job. So I do feel awkward asking some of you. Same time, don't get me wrong. I do have that. I do get a little awkward feeling asking for help, but I know that if I don't do it, it's never going to happen, and you guys need it. It's going to benefit both of you. So never feel like you're on your own on this. Never feel like you're alone in this process. We're in it together. We'll get to the end. We're getting closer and closer, and you guys are doing awesome. So keep it up.
I will say, looking at my older code from years past, I look at it, I'm like, really? I really coded this? Oh man, I don't believe I actually coded this. I see the big mess on the screen. I'm like, wow, I actually did this. I don't remember doing this. And Yeah,
hate
I
it.
guess it works.
I look
You
back
s-
at some of my JavaScript stuff that I was like really proud of at the time. I was like, this is like big brain stuff right here. And I'm just like looking at it now, like this is the simplest shit. Like,
We've come so far in such a short amount of time. It's incredible.
yeah,
That's
it's amazing.
that's the feeling you want to have. That's a good feeling. As much as it also sucks to be like, I hate my old code now. It's like it's a good to feel that growth. So
Well, I don't hate it, but it's just looking at it, like I thought
Yeah.
it was really like advanced at the time, but now
mhm.
it
Yeah,
clearly
that-
wasn't.
that to me is the best way of evaluating yourself. You shouldn't be evaluating yourself against your classmates. No one here should be evaluating what they create against what Mike just showed. Don't feel like, oh, I need to create what Mike created. Not at all. Because that's actually not the job I'm getting you. None of you guys are gonna get a job doing stick figure fighting matches. So
Oh, man.
You're like, damn it.
Come on, Cliff. I thought you said we were
Unfortunate.
getting dream jobs. What is this?
Bye,
The
Elaine.
reason I like doing
Hi,
games
Lane.
a lot is because it's
Bye,
like
Elaine.
it's like Cliff was saying, like with the dopamine and stuff, it's like that immediate visual feedback gets you really excited about doing this stuff. So
Build
that's why I
something that
enjoy doing it.
interests
Plus the
you.
logic behind it is sound, you know.
Build something that interests you, that excites you. If you actually like sports, do something related to sports. Find a sports API or find sports data and have fun with that, mess with that stuff. If you're someone who likes music, maybe try building something that generates digital music randomly through an algorithm or something. Or can store songs or recommend songs, things like that. Like find something that fascinates you, that interests you, and find a way to incorporate that into your code, their interests, because then you're more likely to work on it. Especially once we get into the bootstrap stuff, the Spring Boot stuff, once we get into the web interface stuff like that, because then we're going to be able to bring in APIs and external data, and you can use that data to then mess around and make interesting applications and websites that can be really just cool to do. We've had people do stuff where they use the Twitch API to see what Twitch streamers are online. So there were gamer people who love like League of Legends or something like that, or any of the other games that play online. So they were able to put their favorite people that they liked on a list, and they could just keep that tab open. And as soon as that person went live on Twitch, they could see the light turn green and they could go watch them without having to wait for an email. They could just see their webpage would light up with it. I've seen people create music lists where they would add their favorite music and it would start listing it out. And then they were like, ooh, and if I can, and what I recommended to them is like, oh, if you create multiple user accounts, if you and another person like the same song, you can show other songs that they liked that you might want to listen to then. And that's a very simple recommendation algorithm without using any AI. You can then, of course, if you ever wanted to, get into an AI system to then make those recommendations as well. So it's really interesting that you can take whatever it is. Someone made a recipe book app, which no AI there. They just put up recipes, and what I said to them is like, oh, then you could actually add a sorting system or filtering system. You can filter based on ingredients. Say, hey, show me all the recipes that need that have steak in it or pork in it, and it will show all the recipes with pork and that kind of stuff. So there's great projects you can create regardless of what your interest is. That can help you to develop your coding experience because you're going to be interested in building that. You're going to want to build it because it's connected to you. So that's my biggest thing for you guys to do outside of class. So as we go forward, that's what you're going to keep in mind. Build those things, have fun with the code, experiment. My biggest last thing I'll say again is a reminder, you guys are computer scientists, not just a developer, a computer scientist. Scientists run experiments, they test, they have hypotheses, they try things out, and they are very commonly not right. Scientists more often than not are wrong before they are right. So always remember that. They get it wrong a lot of times. The guy, the light bulb itself, over 100 failures before he got a single correct. And now look what we have for light. We now do stuff at night.
Wonder how many times Albert Einstein was wrong.
I can only imagine. I'm sure he would say lots. Hell, he's the guy who came up with the concept that proved black holes exist, but he did not believe that they did. Albert Einstein's mathematical theory said black holes were a thing, and he said, no, they can't be. That can't be a thing that exists until they finally found one in space. Even though his mathematical theories said they exist, he said, no, that can't happen until someone actually found it through a telescope and they observed it. So keep that in mind. We always put Albert Einstein on this pedestal of like this intelligent guy who always knew what he was talking about. He himself, who his own mathematical formulas said these things exist, said nope, they cannot exist. That just no way they can exist.
He was probably just being humble. He's like, I mean, it's just a theory, guys. Come on.
Right. Very definitely could have been, but yeah, he didn't even believe his own stuff. It's like, I know this says it exists. Like, no. There's got to be something else. There's got to be something else I don't know yet. And then, yep, then they found like, oh, no, it totally does. Like, God damn it. He's been like, God damn it. So always remember that. Always keep that stuff in mind. You know, you're never gonna, no one's perfect. So have at it. I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a good Wednesday.
See you, gang.
Video
Good night.
post.
What's that?
When are you thinking you're gonna get the video posted?
I'm gonna try to get it up tonight. Hopefully it'll process fine tonight. So
Fair enough.
yep. If you don't see it in the morning, just ping me. That way I know that it failed. Because I checked early, I checked this a couple hours ago before class started, and I'm like, why isn't it there? I had to re-upload it. So yeah.
All
If
right.
you don't see it in the morning, ping me on Slack. Let me know that it didn't process. So sound good?
Sound good.
All right. See you guys later.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
I just want to say that I wasn't here the whole time. I just had to turn everything off just because I was getting
Cool.
interrupted so much.
No
But I was
worries.
following along to the best of my ability.
Yeah, we got the video, we got the,
Yeah,
the
I'll-
GitHub branch. So
Exactly. What so I'm gonna do is take a look at the GitHub branch because I was following along, but at one point I gave up because I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm just
well, one
losing
thing
the
again,
thread.
so I think, I don't know if you were there when I mentioned it. So what you could do actually is take the additional options branch, which is from yesterday's branch. So the end of the code from yesterday,
Mhm.
start from there and follow along with the video. And so you'll have the code from what we started today.
Yeah.
So you can always do that and actually follow along. That way you can follow along the whole thing if you want.
Yep. Yeah. This week I kind of got a little screwed with the schedule because I only gave me off Monday. That's it.
Oh,
So,
Jesus. Good luck on
Yeah,
that.
but
man. Do
but
what
at
you
least in the
can.
morning, tomorrow I can, code a little bit. So I'll probably do
Yeah.
that.
No worries. Yeah, do what you can. And of course, you always have the weekend to catch up as well.
Yeah.
The project will let us know how you're doing if the work is hurting you too much, but we'll definitely we'll work with you. Don't worry. You're putting the effort in. That's what we want to see. So you're doing fine.
Appreciate it. Yeah. No. Absolutely. This is it for me. I'm here to stay.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
How you two doing?
Doing well.
Any questions for me?
Yeah, well, you're still recording, just so you know.
Thank you.